Hey everyone, and welcome to the HR Vision podcast. I'm your host, Ivo, and every week I'm going to have a conversation that matters about HR and HR technology. Hello there. Welcome to episode 37 of the HR Vision podcast. Today our guest is Baqar Iqbal. Hey Baqar, how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Um, Baqar moved recently to the Netherlands, but he's joining us today from Pakistan. He's an implementation consultant at FourVision with more than 14 years of experience in human capital management systems. I'm very happy to be with him today to talk about HR technology and its challenges. So, Baqar, you ready?
Yes, I'm
Good.
ready. And thank you so much for having me on this podcast. I recently moved to the Netherlands. So this broadcast, I'm in Pakistan right now. If we talk about myself, from education side, I've done master degree in business administration. And in the introduction, you told me that I have 14 years of experience in HR industry. And the initial stages of my career, I have joined HR operations side,
Mhm.
so that I could feel I can experience the HR operation side of any organizations. So this gives me a complete understanding how the manual processes of any HR companies goes on. And after coming to the tech HR side and spending almost 10 years, and I work on all the ERP provider into the market right now. Like I worked on the SAP, Oracle, and currently from past like 4 to 5 years, I'm on the Dynamics HR side.
All right. Did you pick HR right from the start? Was always something in your mind, or just happened like accidentally or something?
No, this is a very interesting question. From the when I started my MBA, so in the MBA, HR fantasized me very much over there.
Okay.
So I took a lot of interest in HR subjects because this is directly related to the human side and the understanding of the management and how to make key decisions in the company.
Mm.
So especially the HR side attract me too much. That's why my understanding towards the HR goes according to my career, and I realized that I can do pretty much good in it. At that time, I realized in my education side. So I have pretty much decided in my MBA that after completing my degree, I'll be joining in some kind of a HR company to explore the things more further, how they took the strategic decisions in their companies, how they manage their manpower, something like that. It was not planned during my degree, as I told you. But obviously, other things also excite me. Like we have already studied some ERP topics as well. So at that time, I just realized that going into that the HR field and the AI ERP side gonna fantasize me. So I opted that from the HR side.
Okay. And that connection to the ERP, the technology, also developed during your MBA, or was something like once you start learning, or you always like technology, and eventually your career moved to that side, to the ERP, to HCM systems, and all that, or it was something you always had in mind from the MBA time, maybe.
No, no. From the very start, I have the complete understanding that I need to go to the technology side. Although the operational experience also mandated you to understand how to automate the processes and how to help the organization to achieve strategic goals into the company right now.
Okay.
At that point in time, when I've started my career, there is a between gap in the operational goals and the strategic objectives. So that's the technology is the one who bring all together the everything of the organization so that they can take maximum output from that. Usually, people are doing working on the papers. They don't know about the ESS and the MSS technology of the HR. They can do anything from the home and they can apply the leave on their cell phone, something like that. So I opted that field that I need to contribute something like that to help the organization to automate their process.
Interesting. So you saw that gap right from the start. That's very interesting to understand.
Because and somehow at the end at the last year of my degree program they give us the opportunity to submit thesis on the current topics you want to choose. So that's why when I go to the couple of companies I just realized they don't have any kind of automation into their companies. That's why they are lacking to the decision making systems. They are lacking in opting a right solution to their company for their employee. That's why they are pretty much low. It costs to the company as much depending upon as compared to the technology side, because they have more manpower to handle the employees over here.
Mm,
If you talk about a different organization, like the people said, over 100 or you can say 50 employees, there must be a couple of HR people to you can say entertain them into the
yeah,
company. But going to the technology side, that gap can be minimized. No manpower will be needed to perform such kind of a small operation in the company.
interesting. All right, all right. That's a good context, a good setup. Let's move into your work as a consultant. You work throughout your career with many of the major, I would say, HCM systems in the market. Um, but looking into the functioning to be an implementation consultant for HR systems, what do you see? What does it mean for you? What do you think are the must-haves to be successful in that positions, and what gets you more excited?
Basically, there are many reasons that excites
Mm,
me. To be very honest, I must say, being a HR consultant and tech consultant and providing a solution to the company. First of all, you are not bound to fix yourself on a particular industry. You are not bounding yourself any geographical area. You have open field to play on. You have to think out of the box to provide solution to any company, any organization,
mm,
anywhere in the world. So that's why this concept excites me very much. That's why it's been a 15 years I am stick to this concept of the consultancy. Either ERP is the thing like it could be anything. It could be SAP, it could be Oracle, it could be a Dynamics. But the thing is that what comes under the ERP umbrella for the HR helps the organization to move
mm.
forward. So that is a thing which excites me very well. I believe consultancy is a continuous process
Okay.
of learning, right? And adapting yourself to achieve goals for the company and for ourselves as well. Because if the customer is going to is going to implement a ERP for the HR ERP, if the client is succeeding in this area, ultimately that success come to ourselves as well. Because we learned a lot as a company, we grow as well, we make good clients, and this is a win-win situation from the consulting side. So that is the main, you can say, the point where I come to the consulting side, and that you have a diversified working day. For me, being a HR consultant is a complete package. You in the project you work on, you will acting as a change agent for the companies, and you feel yourself be part of that company as well. Like, although we are a consultant and we are working for the FourVision right now, but whenever we are doing project for another company, we feel ourselves part of that company as well. So that is the that things more excite me, to have the complete understanding of the other side of the
All
company as
right.
well. Although at the same time, the positions demand more sense of responsibility as well, because people are counting on you in the process of change management. Implementing cloud ERP could be uneasy for any computer
Yeah.
graduate, but proposing a right business model, a right process to any company, it comes under the consultancy
Yeah.
role. Without having that knowledge, although company desire too much thing from the system, from the ERP side, but you act as an agent, as a change agent to them, and you can guide them the best possible scenario, which can they can use for the longer period of time. So for a good consultant, you need to think out of the box, approaching problems in an innovative way. Without thinking out of the box, consultant cannot provide any good solution. If you following a simple path, you cannot do anything well with the consulting side. This will not be beneficial for the company. This will not give you a benefit in the long term in
So
your
you
professional
need you
career
need
as
to
well.
adapt a little bit to also what the needs are from the clients, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Time to time, you need to improve yourself from the technology perspective and from the HR side. What exactly the world is going to
Yeah.
follow? Like in the recent times, there are drastic change in the people policies. HR is altogether a different
Hmm.
concept for the people. In the hybrid scenarios, policies and manuals are getting more importance in the company. Usually, they don't get invest into these kind of a things. So From the consultancy perspective, this is the whole area for the HR where we play around and help organization to achieve strategic objectives
I
in their
see.
organization. So I must say over here, one thing over here, the name of the game is simplicity. You cannot make things complex to anybody, for yourself and for the other
Hmm.
company as well. And the most importantly, you had of the Einstein quote: if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well. So first of all, you need to understand things that these are the things which need to be clear yourself at the 100% level. After that, you can communicate these changes to employee in a simple manner, because they are the laymen, they don't know how the ERP works. So being a consultant, it excites me to give that comfort level to the organization and the people, so that they feel more empowered and they feel that yes, in the less period of time we can achieve more things
Very
in the company.
interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, if I understand, if I can kind of recap what you just said, you need to be approachable, I guess. You need to be knowledgeable about the technology, but willing also to explain it in a simple manner, so everybody, or depending on the audience, they can also understand what you're saying and feel empowered by that. And you need to communicate efficiently, right?
Yes, yes, yes. These are the key
All
areas.
right. Now let's go to the problems, to the challenges. Because it's not all. Despite what you laid, basically, is all the key components to be a successful consultant. But there's all customer is different, different. The way they work are different. Cultures are different. So there will always be some challenges. I think we both agree that there's always challenges within an implementation. So, what are the most common challenges that you've seen, and how do you try to overcome them?
Yes, I agree. I agree. Every client has a different story, and every time we see it, face a different challenge. For us, this is a positive thing. We take this challenge as a positive manner, and we need to resolve that challenge as well. For me, what I have seen, like if I talk about among all the challenges which I have faced for past 15 years or
Hmm.
14 years of experience of mine, I have worked on a different projects. I have done almost 10 plus years plus of implementations in my profile. But what the specific thing which I have feel that is a challenge for us, that is a change management.
Change man.
Basically, when you change management is a thing that people don't understand what exactly the ERP is going to do with them. Basically, they don't even grasp the concept that why we are here and what exactly will be the
Yeah.
outcome. So that is the main thing, that people were not ready for that particular change into the ERP system in their organization. So that is the main
Okay.
area, right? They are reluctant to change themselves according to the new processes. To overcome these challenges, like obviously this is everywhere. Like if you talk about every field, every industry, some people feel reluctant
To
to
change.
change
Yeah.
themselves according to the new
Yeah.
systems. Yeah, this is a change. To overcome these challenges, customers, you can, I must say, I really appreciate those customers who hire change management agents in their
Oh.
company. Like they hire training managers, they hire senior people, so that they can engage their key leaders. They don't want to they just don't want to quit with the good people into the company just because of this thing. So they act very intelligently. They hire some people that they are good at in the change management. They provide some sort of understanding to the existing employee that this is gonna be help you not in a positive way. So people got realized at the end of the day, through these sessions and through these people, they got realized, yes, this is gonna be a benefit for us at the end of the day. So you need to take this change as a positive
Okay.
manner. And same wise, we also working as a change agent for them, and we are also helping them to overcome this fear that after ERP their life gonna be a miserable, nothing like that. So we give them the comfort that we are here to support you in every point. So this, I think, change management is the key challenge we face every
Okay.
time. And the one and most important thing, sometimes localization is also a challenge for us. Like we talk about the localization, my understanding for the localization is like if you move to the UAE side, the Gulf side, they have a different the country stated law, which is already exists in their
Yeah.
country. Right? They don't need to reinvent the wheel for the every company, right? So before going into that segment, you need to prepare yourself accordingly. So localization is also a big challenge. Sometimes they don't give you a complete information. They assume that you are coming prepared to implement
Huh.
the ER. So moving in a different area in the different countries, being a consultant, this is what I have faced and what I have faced this challenge, that we need to be prepared well enough to understand their local laws, their local localization of everything, like how the payroll is going to be processed over there, what are the legal requirements for the recruitments, and other sort are getting over there, and what the national people are getting benefits over there. So this gives the good impression to the client as well. Although at the same time, this is the challenging
Yeah.
thing for us as
I
well.
can. I can.
So these are the two things I think, but I feel the most challenging in the
Yeah,
consulting
and
environment.
I can see that change management. We talked a lot about it. It's a constant challenge for everyone, not only HR technology. Exactly like you said. Localization is the first time I think we talked about it. So kudos for you for that. No, but just
Yes, yes, it is.
one thing going back to the change management part that I found very interesting that you mentioned that there are some companies that hire change management agents, right? So people that actually can
Yes.
support the team from inside to accommodate all the changes that might be in place. Do you yourself in some projects where you see there's a room for that? For example, it's a company probably you would say with a lot more employees, not a medium-sized company, probably an enterprise company. Is that something that crosses your mind to suggest to the key leaders in a project that maybe we can act from the outside as change management agents, but if you have someone from the inside doing that, it's going to improve immensely the taking this project to a successful path. Do you do that sometimes?
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, sir. Definitely. After a couple of meetings with the people that are going to use the ERP, and we just analyze that these are ERP. At initial stages, we recommend these things to the project management and other people as well, that we need to have a person on board who can understand the company objectives and understand the people logic already working into the company. They need to be at the same page. That's why you're gonna have a successful implementation. Otherwise, this thing not gonna be a successful for you. We at the
Mm,
very step, at the bigger level, although the management level, the higher, like we have done a steering committee meetings, and these sort of a meetings got the understanding either we are going on track or not. What are the obstacles we are facing right now? So in these areas or during the periodic meeting, we recommend those things, that you need to have a one point of person who can address these issues and facilitate them in order to have this change in their working style, in their thought process.
okay.
Because without that change, they cannot adopt this thing. Because technology sometimes root for anybody. Technology sometimes behave like a strange thing to anybody who didn't work any kind of a thing on the mobile thing, on the laptop. So if you are convincing anybody that you need to do this from onward, you need to do this on the laptop right now, and you need to do this activity from this onwards, that might be a difficulty for him to understand this thing.
Hmm.
But internal change agents, on the job trainings, special programs for them, provide them the understanding, so that by doing this, company will be having that particular employee into the company, like that employee which is most important to the company will remain with the company. He will not be thinking that I'll be switching the job or something like that. So in both cases, there will be a win-win situation, that the key resource will be retained into the company, and you will be successfully implementing the ERP.
All right. Very nice. Very nice. Moving on. You joined FourVision quite recently. Is this your
Yes.
first? Is this your first experience with Microsoft ERP or Microsoft HR, or did you have that before?
Yes, no, no. As I have before coming to the FourVision in Pakistan, I'm working with the system limited for past three
Okay.
years. So I've delivered lots of project over here in Pakistan and in the
Okay. So
global.
HR, so
Yeah.
Microsoft HR is not new to you. Okay.
No, no, it's not
All
not
right.
not
All
new to
right.
me.
No, I'm going to ask that because it's. I know that you worked with the major ones so far. Uh, we are not here to make a lot of comparisons because we had this discussion many times. Like each system had some kind of purpose, some kind of specific audience. But if you'd have to see like the differences and do, where do you think Microsoft sits, from SAP or Oracle in terms of, an HR system? Do you think it's comparable? I just added this one. I know that you were not expecting this one, but it's a curveball. Sometimes it happens.
No, 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 no. This is the main question because I have worked on all three ERPs. Everybody asks me the same question that how do you feel about the Microsoft if you compare this thing to
Yeah.
the other ERP? Like I said, you cannot compare anything to any ERP.
Okay.
These are all working on a different modules. They are all already working on
Okay.
different approach. Every company has a different approach related to their product development. And I must say over here, I'm not saying that because I'm working right now with the Microsoft. If you look at the across the board, the cloud computing environment, I think the Microsoft is a pioneer to provide this platform to the companies and to the market. Before that, you have an on-premises solution available. Like SAP is already providing the on-premises solution, although they introduced as expected, but that is didn't even get uh, globally recognized at this point in time. But providing end-to-end solution on the cloud computing system, I guess Microsoft is the one who's providing
Okay.
right now. So this is the main thing which I see in couple of years. You can also relate this thing with the other thing as well. Everything is going on the
Yeah.
cloud, even though nobody's going maintaining their servers. They are not maintaining any kind of a thing on premises. They are all going on the
Yeah.
cloud right. So being a competitive advantage of this thing that the Microsoft introduced this thing at the very first time. These are Microsoft was the one who provided this thing at the very first time. Other companies follows after from the Microsoft. They Oracle, I don't think so. They are using any Fusion name anymore
Hmm.
on the cloud side. So I believe all three ERPs have a different understanding, different approach. But right now, if we talk about the whole combo, like the full HR capacity to deal with every process in the company, and that process on the cloud system, that at any point and at anywhere you can access those information on single click of your mobile or anywhere you can
Mm.
access. There is no need any kind of a security or something like that. So this is the thing. I guess every system has their pros and cons. You
Definitely.
cannot compare that this is very
Yeah.
good and this is very bad. If at the end of the day, what exactly you are getting from that system is
Yeah.
matter a lot. Because if I believe if you are getting everything from the system in the less price with high efficiency of everything, high transparency of everything, without having kind of a you can say dependency on other people, like if you need to hire somebody to execute this thing, Microsoft providing us a very good platform that
Yeah.
everybody can learn. This is not like that you are implementing this solution to any company will be burden on them at the sooner or later providing them a good training on the job training or any specialized training. In couple of months I say they'll be trained on them, and that ERP will be beneficial to them.
Okay. Clear. Couple more questions. Let's say the list is an implementation. I'm interested to know how. about it? You know, what is the process that you follow to make sure that implementation is successful?
If you talk about me, basically I categorize this thing into three parts, like full cycle implementation. There are many the success of ERP implementation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you talk, but I believe that the one very much important thing that need to be followed for any successful ERP implementation is support from the top management.
Okay.
The management, without management support, you cannot implement any kind of
You
a
mean
solution in the company.
you mean
Like this
from
is
the
the
client side? Yeah.
yes
Yeah.
from the client
Right.
side. Yes, like basically these are the points which influence the successful. I'm not say implementing a ERP. I'm talking about successfully implementing the
Okay.
ERP. That after the consultant left from the organization, they at least use that system. So for me, the top tier understanding is very much necessary for the
Okay.
implementation because ERP requires support from the top management. This is because the implementation on an ERP system that includes departments,
Yeah.
right? So organization company will cause a linkage between those departments. If the leadership don't have a vision and they can't communicate the things on the lower level, the ERP is not going to be successful
Mm.
with it. Are you getting my point? At the lower level, their goal should be aligned with the senior management that for what purpose the ERP is coming into
Yeah.
their organization. If they are not following their leadership, if their leadership is not making any kind of an impact on the lower level of the department's level, then it, no ERP could be a beneficiary for them. Either it could be a SAP, it could be
Anything.
a
Yeah.
Dynamics or something like that. So support from the top management is
All
very
right.
necessary. So for successful implementation. Second thing is that you need to understand the business processes.
Mm.
If you don't have a grip on the existing business processes, you cannot map them onto the ER.
Okay.
So one should be clear what exactly he is doing into the organization and what are the key areas that need to be on get the maximum out. So this thing should also be a mandatory for any kind of organization who is going to implement a successful ER. If you can't explain your process well enough to the consultant cannot help you to mitigate those areas which you are facing difficulty on those areas.
Okay.
So second point is that business process understanding
Before you
is
go to
must
the
over here.
third point, do you think the consultant also here can play a role to help to understand the business processes, or that needs to be the client side figuring that out by themselves? What do you think?
Yes, I agree. I agree. We always act as a change agent for them on the project. But the thing is that at the end of the day, user need to buy that
Yeah.
idea that the whole process should be in his mind.
Yes.
Otherwise, if we are putting words in his mind, that will not gonna benefit for him. If he understands his process from A to Z, then he can map that process on the ERP and he feel like that yes, I'm
I
getting something out of the system. So although if he's going out of the way, if he's doing something wrong which is not internationally practiced, then we intervened and we tell them, no, this is not the best practices. This is how the people are doing in other organization and other part of the world. So this is totally upon them. They opted or not. But the process understanding how the things are going to be for them, it should be clear to them.
Please continue.
Yes. And the third part is that what I feel which is more important for the successful implementation of the ERP
Mm.
is training. Training. Training part is that like if the company is operating like from 20 years they are working, they don't have any ERP to the system and they have employees who working from past 20 years with them. And though they don't have any kind of understanding what exactly the ERP is, what is Microsoft, how to log into the system, what are the key areas. So where the training parts come in. So companies need to invest in the training as well. Although on the job training is also a thing that company can engage people on the on job
Yeah.
training on the regular basis. But sometimes people invest in employees for the specific or on the
Mm.
advanced training level. They send them to the other training institute, they send them to the other universities, or sometimes some kind of a courses they have offered related to the ERP, because in the modern world, I must say, the university is also adopting ERP as a subject in their
Okay.
degrees. So they have introduced for the senior executives, they introduced couple of months program to understand how the ERP works, so they can understand and implement those things with the organization. So I must say, training should be an integral part for any successful implementation of
All
ERP.
right. Very insightful. I I really like that answer. All right. Let's go to the last one that I have for you. It's just more of a look. We asked this to a lot of other guests on the podcast. Is just looking into the future. Are there any HR trends that you see? Or what do you see in the future of HR technology?
Yes, yes, I see very bright future of HR. I really must say over here, because COVID also played a very important role over here. Right? For the technology people, COVID comes as a blessing in disguise. But to be very honest, I am talking on the positive side right now, because everybody is working on a
Yeah.
hybrid model. So nobody is coming to the HR, but they are following full-fledged protocol of the working while working from home. All the things are working on the same pattern. There is nothing changed. So I feel the HR is facing very tough time right now, because they need to engage the people with the company. They need to reduce their attention in terms of everything. Like if you say the example of the medical process of any kind of a thing in the company. So through automation, you can achieve that nobody basically you can say nobody can come to the organization and all the process will be
Yeah.
done automatically to them, right? So automation is very much necessary for organization, and they are opting very well. Technology companies are working very best possible solution to facilitate companies to achieve their goals. And cloud solution, I must say over here, cloud solution are most anticipated in the near future. Although local ERPs are also working in different part of the countries, but the major companies are contributing on the
Yeah.
clouds very much. As you can see in the Microsoft side, they have introduced standalone application for the HR. They realize that the HR is a very integral part. That's why they introduce a separate application. Although they are going to merge that application into
Yeah.
the main application, but they realize the need of the
Yes.
HR. They found that the HR should be there as a main module. They should not be get neglected in this future of time. So, and same like as I told you before, Dynamics 365 is the pioneer in providing the whole ERP
Yeah.
solution on the cloud technology uh, for
Yeah.
the consumer side.
Interesting. Do you think the the cloud might bring some challenges in terms of it's very hard that they're down, but if they're down, there are a lot of companies that don't have access to their data, right? It's always it's of course everything is moving to the cloud. I understand that, but it's also like that big debate of physical data or a physical place to host and to save your data, and the cloud in a place that you don't know where it is. If it goes down, you can lose all your data. And do you think that's a problem at all, or do you think like the technology is so advanced as it is right now, it's going to be hard to go back?
So, Nane, I can understand. At the time of the cloud launch, people have too many questions saying like that. What will be happen? What will be the data secrecy and all those things? But you are in the right now 2020, right? So all these things, there is nothing like that. There's only a one server who's providing you our data. Now the company has have a diversified portfolio, like they are offering different technologies. Like if you talk about the Facebook, and if you talk about any kind of a thing into the market who's providing cloud computing, they are not focusing on the one server right now. They have segregated their areas. If the one system goes down, in the parallel, other system will provide you the information. We are in a that much of a technology advancement. There is nothing like that. The only one server will be allocated to you. If this is down, we
Yeah.
cannot do any kind of a thing. This is nothing like that. The cloud technology evolves
Yeah.
time to time, and at this point in time, the cloud technology is more proficient as compared to on premises. On premises has a more disadvantage as compared to cloud. First of all, you need to have a the on premises thing consume more energy. On premises need to be have maintain
Yeah.
more manpower, the more resources required to maintain on-premises thing. So this is obsolete now. People are moving towards the cloud technology so that they can access their
Everywhere.
data from
Yeah.
everywhere, everywhere. So I guess this is something like that. Although government organizations and the military don't believe on the cloud structure because there are too many high-risk information available on
Yeah.
the cloud right now. But the thing is that if we neglect that 1%, that obviously every military institution or any kind of a strategic government organization don't want to put their information on the cloud. They are okay with the on-premises thing, but
Yeah.
99% are going on the
Exactly.
cloud.
Okay. No, I just thought it would be nice to have kind of assurance from an expert such as yourself. All right, I'm gonna throw you just a last curveball in your direction. It's just to ask you, why should people invest in HR technology if
Yes,
they haven't yet?
if they are having. Yes. I must say, among other departments, HR is the most neglected department for every organization. You talk about why we invest in them. Basically, this is the need of the moment right now. If you don't invest in this area, you cannot come out of this petty issues of the HR and the other things. You will remain into that area where you cannot make any good environment for the company. If you are having 1,000 and 2,000 employee, and if your turnaround time for the HR thing is 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it ultimately create a lack of information, lack of communication, and decision making in the company, right? So you need a system will give you efficient results in shorter period of time. And this can only be happen adapting new technologies, automating the processes, digitalizing the records. Without that, if you use the same generic manual paperwork, everything gonna be disaster for you in the in the current times. Everybody is want more efficient results in less period of time. If you want same old school of thought that you are sending an email and after that you're giving a approval, something like that, this is not gonna help. Any progressive organization cannot afford
Yeah.
delays in their processes because opportunity comes goes in a minute. If you don't act accordingly, they are gone. And like most of the companies are already focused on their HR side. Like they are investing too much on the HR side because they believe if we providing a good comfort to employees, to the organization, ultimately they're gonna be happy and contribute to the company successful accordingly. If they are not getting their benefits and other sort of thing on time due to some boring processes and the boring bureaucracy into the company, nobody will appreciate you on this. So right now, I give you
Yeah.
example on this. In the past 10 to 20 years, whenever you open up, you think that you analyze that which branch is near about my location, right? But in the current times, you analyze that the which bank application is quite efficient
Yeah.
to use in that
Yeah.
area, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
So things has been changed now. Our priorities has been changed now. Whenever the employee is going into the company, he see what exactly the process of doing this thing into your company. If somebody says we are still using the paperwork, he said, I think this is not suitable for me as well.
Yeah.
Because people are going too far ahead of this thing and you are still using the old technology. So this is the need of the moment right now. If you can't do this right now, you'll be in a third or second grade in the
All
organization.
right. I think that's a great note to end this conversation. Baqar, thank you so much for coming in. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too.
Yes, yes, same here, same here.
Good.
Thank you so much
Good.
for having me.
All right. Baqar, once again, thank you so much. For you out there listening, we'll see you next time.